We looked at a 16, 17-year-old mare that has had lameness issues for well over 2 years. She has heel pain, and as you can see here when we walk her, you can see how stiff and stilted her gait is, even at a walk. When she turns to the left, she really is painful on those feet. There is stiffness, there's pain, there's lack of free movement. We're going to go ahead and go in, take a couple of x-rays of this horse and see what we're dealing with on her feet. So what I want to point out before we get started on this is how this mare is breaking over to the outside. She's not breaking straight over her feet, and you can see the angles of those hooves and how they've worn. When we look at this navicular shot, we see some minor changes around this navicular bone, but overall, it's not that bad looking. So my suspicion is maybe we have some tendon issues going on. We may have some tendon issues where it comes down underneath this navicular bone, but certainly the bursa could have some pain in there, but hopefully by giving some cushion and some ease of breakover, and where those feet aren't wearing like they are, they'll give her some relief.
Right, absolutely. So there's just a little bit of trimming to do here.
We're going to want to set that shoe back to
right
there.
About there.
Thinking a aught, you think?
Yes.
Our left foot is going to be a size aught, and her right foot's going to be a double aught. And that's the case that will happen sometimes. So we do see horses with different size feet. Probably going to be it, isn't it?
About that. It's a lot easier to use a shoe like this, in my estimation, particularly on sore-footed horses, than it is to try and nail on conventional shoes. It doesn't need to necessarily be installed by a professional. If you do your own work, these are really easy to work with. There's a little bit of forgiveness built into the material that they're made of. The ground side of the SoftRiders is marked for suggested hole placement for your nails. You're not limited with those. You can drill them wherever you want to. However, what I have found with those is, particularly with the second hole, they have it marked in a pretty good spot most of the time. In a conventional shoe, the nail heads would line up with each other. You see how these are all at an angle? Yep. Okay, that's kind of what happens with these SoftRiders. It's not any big deal at all. Your nail is still intact. You got good placement. It's just that there's not enough of a rigid guide to turn that nail. When you're clinching these, it's pretty important to make sure you get the bottom jaw of your clincher underneath that nail head. Otherwise, you just push the nail right back out.
So we can see she's moving much freer. We haven't completely lost all the limp, but she is not nearly as stiff. When she makes that left turn, previously she was really tender when she turned. And now she can step over herself and turn and not get short on those feet. So pretty significant improvement just on this horse. We'll take her out and lunge her quickly in a circle and see how it compares now to what it was before. When you look at that shoe from the rear, you can see that foot pushing down into that shoe. You can see some cushioning there. And to me, quite obviously, she appears to be quite a bit more comfortable in these shoes than what she was prior to putting these shoes on. I think even if you have a hard time seeing lame horses, you can tell a significant difference in the before and after of the way this mare moves. We still see a slight bit of stiffness and lameness in that right front, but nothing in the left front like what we saw before. So just in a very, very short period of time, we have made this mare a lot more sound and a lot happier. I have found tremendous use for these SoftRider shoes for sore horses. Anything from navicular horses, thin soles, poor angles, ring bone, heel pain in general. Time after time after time, I've found horses that have responded significantly to these shoes.
All right, all we're going to do is fill in along the back of the shoe here and seal any sort of debris out from the back of the hoof as we can. Otherwise, we'll get some dirt and debris that will get in and under the shoe and potentially cause some sole soreness. You can see here where there's a pretty big cavity behind on this hoof, and we really want to fill that in.
Remember, we do not want impression material up around the solar surface where the coffin bone is. If you happen to have any problems, questions, concerns, or issues with the SoftRider shoes, contact SoftRide. They'll be happy to get you in contact with one of us, one of the veterinarians or farriers that use these, and we'll be happy to help you any way we can.